Hey everyone, alright, so let's talk about No Escape, the new movie starring Owen Wilson, Lake Bell and Pierce Brosnan. This was a movie that I heard about quite a while ago. I was browsing through Pierce Brosnan's filmography on the Internet Movie Database, and of course listed under projects, due to come out, was in pre-production when I first saw it listed, was No Escape, or as it was originally titled, The Coup. Obviously subsequently changed the title to No Escape. Better title, I think, although maybe The Coup would have avoided any confusion with the Ray Liotta film, but never mind. This movie, how was it? It was actually very good. I've heard and seen videos giving this movie, mixed reviews, some quite negative, and if you look at some of the discussion boards for the film on Internet Movie Database, some negative comments about it on there. I think they've actually been quite unfair to this film. This I really enjoyed. I saw the trailer. I thought, you know what, this looks pretty solid, and sure enough, it really was. Of course, the storyline, the plot of the movie is relatively straightforward. Owen Wilson moving his family out to Asia. He's got a new career in this waterworks company that's been set up there. He's one of the executives of the company, and he's going out there for this new position. And no sooner does he move out there, chaos breaks out. It's actually the day after they move there. Chaos ensues. Basically, all the locals, they don't like this new waterworks company that's opened up there. It's putting a load of people out of jobs because this new company's opened up. It's took over the whole waterworks industry, bringing in all outsiders, to work for the company. It isn't employing any of the locals, so the locals have just had enough, and they've just started rioting basically and going round, and any foreigners, they're just flat out executing them, if they come across anyone who is working for this new company, it's just executed there and then. It's terrifying. So of course Owen Wilson and his family are going to be prime targets, so it's obviously plot of the film, they've got to get the hell out of there. And of course the way Pierce Brosnan figures into all this, when they're travelling out there, they meet Pierce Brosnan. He's on the same flight as they are, and we find out that his character, he's been out there to this country in Asia. It's never explicitly stated where it is in Asia, but it's close to Vietnam. But his character's been out there 15 times, he says, so he's a regular out there. He knows the place pretty well, So when all this breaks out, Pierce Brosnan kind of helps Owen Wilson and his family in as much as he can. There's large portions of the film, you probably heard this, where Pierce Brosnan isn't actually in it. He has only got a relatively small role. He might be in it about 20 minutes. This film's like an hour 50, and he's in about 20 minutes of it. But for me, he is the shining star of the film. He really is. He really is. Owen Wilson does a really good job. You've got to give him credit, even though obviously primarily a comedic actor. He does a really good job here. He's quite believable. He does well. He doesn't fall into the trap of trying to be something he's not. He's not being this all-out action hero. He's just this regular guy who just gets caught up in this mess, I mean, he has a couple of action sequences and fight scenes in it, but in those scenes, they don't try to make him out to be this, awesome fighter, you know. He's not Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon all of a sudden. Hell, he's not even John McClane, Bruce Willis in Die Hard, you know, even though Bruce Willis in Die Hard was just a regular guy like Owen Wilson is. You know, he had some fighting ability, but Owen Wilson in this, no, he's just an average guy. Pierce Brosnan, however, his character turns out to be CIA, so, you know, you couldn't ask for a better actor to play that sort of role. And so, of course, Pierce Brosnan is the one who handles more of the action stuff, as you might expect. But yeah, Pierce Brosnan for me steals the show. Even though he's only in it 20 minutes, those 20 minutes are the best. He really is the highlight of the film, I think. And the film is solid, it really is. It's got a good pace to it. It's tense, it's really tense, you know, when Owen Wilson and Lake Bell and their kids, you know, are on the run from these. It is a terrifying situation. That does come across when you're watching it. You do feel the tension when you're like, oh God. And one thing I do have to say is, props to the people who made it. They didn't really water it down. It is quite graphic in parts, you know. It is rated R. But no, they didn't make any attempt to water it down, really. It's quite a brutal sit. Yeah, there's some very graphic things that happen in the film, you know, in terms of like some of the executions that are performed, and you know, it's yeah, it's nice. It makes a nice change to see a modern action film that hasn't been watered down, you know, it's like a PG-13 or in the UK's case a 12A. So it was a nice change. But would I recommend this? Yeah, I genuinely think those who've been negative towards this film have been unfair. It was a very enjoyable film. It passed quick. It had a good, like I say, it has a good pace to it. But yeah, it's a pretty simple plot. You know, you don't have to worry about it being difficult to follow. Just Owen Wilson and his family are trying to escape this all-out war that's broke out, and obviously. It is a coup that's going on. You know, they're going around anyone who's not from here, anyone who's a foreigner, execute them there and then. No negotiations. They're not taking any prisoners. They'll just flat out, they'll shoot you. They'll run over you with a truck. They'll beat you to death. Just whatever, you know. It's very tough, but. It's good. It's good if you're looking for like a tense action thriller. Yeah, and like I said, Pierce Brosnan's such a joy to watch. His character, you know, there is some, as dark as it gets and as intense as it gets, there is some good comedic moments to it. Like Pierce Brosnan, he's friends with one of the locals out there who has his own minibus service, and he's a huge fan of Kenny Rogers, and that's what his character calls himself in the film. You know, oh, just call me Kenny Rogers. Moments like that, and Kenny Rogers subsequently helps Pierce Brosnan and helps Owen Wilson and his family out when all this this crisis breaks out. But yeah, hey, it's a good film. Pierce Brosnan's great. Owen Wilson does such a good job, you know, trying to do something different. Lake Bell, as his wife, does a really good job. She's, she goes through it in the film, but she's does a really good performance, you know. But yeah, I recommend this. Go see it. It is good. It's a very well done thriller. And I thought it was going to be. I didn't go into this wanting to hate it, but I had a good feeling about, you know, from seeing the trailer. I've gotten to the point, you know, where just give movies a chance. You know, try to go in as cold and as neutral as you can, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. And it worked for me here. It really did. I've thought this was very good. Probably get it when it comes out on home video. One thing I will say as well, the music score that they did for this movie, that's very effective. The music score, you know, it really helps to build that intensity and really has that drive and pace to it that keeps the action going. That was very good, so that's something that's worthy of mentioning, the music score in the film. But yeah, it's very good. If that pretty much brings this to a close, you know, like I say, I did go to see it primarily for Pierce Brosnan, and even though he's not in it, he doesn't have a major role, I still wasn't disappointed, because when he's on screen, you know, he's the brightest spot of the movie. You know, he is the shining star of the film. One thing I will say before I go, his accent, because he puts an accent on in this, and obviously when actors do accents, it can either be really good or it can either be really bad. It can either go one way or the other. This accent that he does in this movie, it's one of those, you know, where you hear it and you think, if he's going to do this for the entire film, it's going to be amazing. And sure enough, he did it for the entire film, and sure enough, it was amazing. He has this accent, because he is, although he's CIA, he's playing a Brit, and it sounds like something from South London. It's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, Pierce Brosnan, right, he's having so much goddamn fun in this film, and you can tell. And it just, if you're going to see it for Pierce Brosnan, you will enjoy it, because he's such a joy to watch. But yeah, that's my final word on this film. I recommend it. I really enjoyed it. Probably in terms of like the recent Pierce Brosnan films, like over the past couple of years, obviously Love Is All You Need was fantastic. The November Man, I really liked that one. Survivor, that was generic as all hell, but he was good in it. And this was really good. I'd probably say not quite as good as The November Man, but this movie, No Escape, it's a lot better than Survivor that came out earlier this year. So if you had to pick between No Escape or Survivor, watch No Escape. I'd pick that over Survivor. So yeah, I recommend this movie, and that brings my review to a close. If you guys have seen it already, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you agree with some of the points I've made. And if you are still debating whether to go see it, hopefully this has helped you out in some way, shape or form. And if you do decide to go see it, I hope you do enjoy it. So that brings this review to a close. Thanks for sticking with me, and I shall see you all next time. Thanks everyone.